Hello and welcome to this video from Sorare Assist. Want to know which players are going to get you those all-important points at a budget price? Then make sure you stick around, because I've been scouting every region and I'll be sharing my findings in this video today. Before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, then welcome. If you're looking for the Sorare tutorials, scouting and other Sorare content, then you're in the right place. If you found this video useful, then please push that like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel by pushing that big red button below and ping that notification bell to be the first to be alerted about any new content. If you haven't signed up to Sorare yet, then what are you waiting for? Get signed up using the link below to get a free rare card and 10 common cards. If you have any questions or thoughts about today's videos, then please drop them in the comments below. Right, now that's out of the way, let's get stuck into today's content. So in this video series, I'll be highlighting budget options in every region over a number of weeks. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll be highlighting players in regions and also in leagues as well in each videos, depending on how many budget options I've come up with in each category. All these players are around or below £100 at the time of recording. Some are as low as £30 and at most £150 for maybe strikers or more elite players. These players are all good enough to hit the ETH thresholds in most weeks, even if you're using a common keeper. These selections also tie in with my video on building a Sorare team from zero to hero, where the principle was to use 4 rare cards and a common keeper to get those ETH thresholds most weeks. A link is in the description below if you do want to watch that. So due to this, I won't be highlighting goalkeepers on this video series, because if there's a slight chance a goalkeeper will play, their price is going to be high. There's no such thing as a budget keeper really in today's market for a quality starting goalkeeper. But with the players highlighted, you should be able to use a decent common keeper and still at those ETH thresholds, and then potentially save up with the prize that you win for your first rare keeper. If you already have a rare keeper, that's even better. So the idea is that these players will be able to get you around 50 points on average amongst your 4 outfield players. This will get you 200 points, plus add on top of that the percentage bonuses of your cards and your common keeper score, of course, and there's a high chance you could also reach the higher threshold payout. Now I bet you're thinking that it's hard for your players to score 50 every week. Well, they don't have to. If one player scores 70, then one of your other players can be excused for scoring 30 points, as that's still an average of 50 points between 2 players. The players highlighted have all the right statistics and history of good scores to hit those thresholds. They're also expected to start most games or are already seeing regular game times for the club. And the good thing is, they're available at a budget price. I'm highlighting their scoring history and looking at their prices on the market at the time of recording. Right, let's get into the first selection then. First up, I've gone for Mario Rui. So first up, I've gone for Mario Rui of Napoli. Now, if we look at his scores here, as you can see, some fantastic numbers there. So he has been playing some games at the end of the season. He was in and out of the team, to be fair, but that is because he is due to leave Napoli shortly, and there has been rumours that he could be going to Galatasaray, but there's also a number of other clubs interested as well. Okay. So you can see here when he was playing around this time, when he was getting regular minutes, he was getting some fantastic scores, and his stats in terms of numbers of passes and that sort of thing also look very appealing. So if you just get move away to Galatasaray, obviously that's the Challenger League, but I expect him to be a fantastic card for that league, or he may even get a move elsewhere within the Champion Europe division. Either way, he's going to be a good player when he gets first team football. So let's just have a look at his price on the market then. So as you can see, £60. This is on the secondary market, of course. So some very cheap prices look going for this guy. Someone bought him 10 days ago for £60. That was on the secondary market, I'm guessing. But with these prices, £59 here, you could probably put a bid in lower than that, of course, and potentially get him lower than the £60 highlighted. So could be a fantastic value buy there, especially if he gets some first team minutes. So next up, I've gone for Gulam. Also plays for Napoli and actually plays in the same position as Mario Rui, which is good news for Gulam. So obviously Rui is expected to leave, so Gulam is likely to be maybe a second choice behind Emerson, but Gulam may potentially seek a move away from Napoli to get some first team minutes. So let's have a look at his scores then. As you can see, there's a number of did not plays here, but this is due to him being injured. Okay, so he has been injured for a number of months, but he has come back towards the end of last season. As you can see here, he's been playing the odd minutes to get his fitness back. These lower numbers are just a few minutes, but these higher numbers are where he's got more minutes in a game. 66 here, 59 minutes there, and these much better scores, fantastic scores in fact, where he's got 90 minutes, look. 23 in that one, but he's still got 69 in his 23 minutes. 90 minutes in that, and 90 minutes in that one. So as you can see, when he is playing regular minutes, he's getting some brilliant scores. This is because his passing numbers are very high. He also does a number of crosses into the box, capable of getting assists, that sort of thing. So this one is more of a, I suppose you can call it a bit of a punt really, just depends on what his situation is at Napoli. He's either going to be backup or first choice, but I suspect he will play some of the games as first choice, but he may even get a move away as well to another club potentially. But looking at his price on the market, it is very, very low, and he is still only 30 years old, this guy. But you could probably get a bid in for around £30, I would say, and maybe pick him up for around £30, which would be a fantastic bargain for this guy, who is, like I say, when he plays, a fantastic option there. Okay, so he is someone worth considering. At this price, I don't think you can really go wrong. So next up, I've gone for Antonio Candreva. Now, if you look at his scores, some fantastic scores here, look. Still a regular starter, Dorio, and although they're not the best team in the Italian division, he's still getting some brilliant scores here. He is 34 now, but he is expected to obviously play another season and be a regular starter for Sampdoria. So looking at his price on the market then, so 118, which looks decent. You could probably obviously put a bid in lower than that as normal. 110 here. So you could get this guy at a very, very cheap price for the good scores that he's going to get you. And obviously he's a midfielder as well. So midfielders tend to be a bit more expensive than the defenders. So he looks a fantastic option there at a budget price as well. So next up, I've gone for David Wass. 32-year-old. Points-wise, he's got some fantastic scores here. And price-wise, he is only 30, which is young. Plays for Valencia, of course. And looking at his prices, you can get him at around £66 here on the secondary market, which is absolutely brilliant. This is a midfielder, don't forget. He's a midfielder, so for this price, for a champion Europe midfielder, that is absolutely brilliant. He's obviously an international as well. He's getting international minutes. Recently featured in the Euros, of course. But for this price here, that looks an absolute bargain. And you'll be able to put a bid in lower than that as well. So for a midfielder in the champion Europe division, that's potentially a fantastic price there. So next up, I've gone for Ivan Perisic of Inter Milan. Now this guy has just recently played in the Euros. He's a quality player. I think we all know that. He's got quality statistics, that sort of thing. Now if we look at his stats here, as you can see, he's got some fantastic numbers. Some fantastic scores when he was playing 90 minutes. He was obviously on loan at Bayern Munich last season, I think it was. So he was getting minutes here and there. It wasn't a first team choice for Bayern. Obviously they've got a lot of quality players in the ranks. But as you can see, when he was getting some regular minutes, he's getting these high scores. So he is back at Milan now, Inter Milan. Whether he will feature in the first team is something that you probably need to investigate. But he is 32, so I would suspect that he's probably looking to get some first team minutes now. But he's still a fantastic quality player, and obviously he is available at a very good price as well. So let's have a look at his price on the market. So as you can see, there's some here for 118, 119, which for a top quality player in the Champion Europe, because I can't imagine he's going to go through a Challenger League or anything like that. If he does transfer from Inter Milan, I would think it would be at a top club, because he is still a top player. So 110 on the secondary market looks fantastic. You could obviously put a bid in lower than that as well. But for someone of his quality, if he gets first team minutes, you're going to have a fantastic SO5 player there in your midfield slot. And for probably below £100 you'll be able to pick him up for, I think that is a bargain option. So next up then, we've got another midfielder. Is Darko Lazovic of Hellas Verona in the Italian division. So looking at his scores, he's got some fantastic scores again here. Look, as you can see, I would have thought he'd be staying at Hellas Verona, but that's not a bad thing, because as you can see, his scores are still very, very impressive. So he's a midfielder, this guy, and let's have a look at his prices on the market then. So again, he's going for probably below £100 you'll be able to get this guy for. Yeah, around below £100 I would say. But then let's not forget that the new cards are probably coming out as the season draws nearer. So you might even be able to pick him up on an auction at an even lower price. But you should be able to pick him up on the secondary market as well. I would say on the under the £100 mark. And to bear in mind, I think the Hellas Verona player as well on the primary market are potentially bundle sales, so you might want to pick him up on the secondary market anyway. But as you can see, his average in the last 5 is 59, which is over the bracket of the purpose of this video. Players of 50 or average every game, so as you can see, he's a quality option there. So next up is another midfielder, and that is Karim Demirbay of Bayer Leverkusen. Only 28. He has seen international minutes for Germany as well. He does sometimes get in the Germany team, which is obviously a good thing for him. Didn't feature at the Euros though, I don't believe. But he is a fantastic player, and as you can see here from his scores, he's capable of some very, very good scores as well. So let's have a look at his price then on Sorare at the time of recording. See what we can get him for. Let's have a look. So as you can see, £100 here, 110, that looks fantastic to me. So you could probably get him for lower than £100, I would say. Probably put a bid in for 90, 80, something like that. For this type of player who's only, like I say, 28, is a fantastic buy, and he's also at a top team as well in Bayer Leverkusen. So he does look another great option, and as you can see, he is capable of getting some very high scores as well. These scores here, if you can get your players to score around the 80, 90 marks, all 4 of them, and your keeper or common keeper, And there's a high chance that a very, very high chance in fact, that you're going to get a very decent card reward in the SO5 tournaments. So he does look a brilliant option there. So on to forwards now then, and the first choice is Pedro. Now Pedro is actually due to potentially leave Roma. I don't think he fits into Mourinho's plans as the new head coach at Roma there. So he is potentially going to move to a different club. But I suspect that there might be a number of teams after this player. Now he is 33 now, but that's still pretty young for footballers in today's age. So looking at the points, as you can see, he's got some really good scores here. Especially when he's playing the full 90 minutes, he's getting some fantastic scores. He's a very attacking player, very creative player. So when he is playing games regularly, he's always going to be getting goals or getting amongst the assists and that sort of thing. So it'll be interesting to see where he does end up in terms of moving away from Roma. But I would suspect it's going to be at a decent team anyway. Probably in the Champion Europe division, or potentially even in the Challenger Europe division. But I would suspect he's still going to be playing for a top side. And then if he can get first team minutes, like I say, I think he's going to be a brilliant option for your SO5 teams, especially in the forward option category, because obviously the forwards on Sorare are a lot more expensive. So getting a player for potentially here, look, under £90 is going to be absolutely fantastic, especially if he's starting in most of the games as well. He could be a brilliant cheap option there in the forward role. Another forward I've gone for is Carlos Perez. He also plays for Roma. Only 23 though, this guy. And when he is playing the full game, he's getting some really good scores, as you can see here. He was in and out of the team last week. It wasn't really a first team starter, but under Mourinho, you never know, he could have a fresh start and he could start getting some first team minutes. He is only 23, which is obviously a bonus. So let's have a look at his prices on the market. As you can see here, £88, that is very cheap. You'd probably put a bid in there and getting below that, so around £60 for a under 23 player playing at a top club. I think that is a fantastic bargain, especially if he does get more minutes under Mourinho. Then you've got yourself a fantastic cheap Champion Europe forward there. So Perez is the final selection this week. Now the Champion Europe division, in terms of budget options, they are sort of very scarce, I would say, for ones who are actually starting games, that sort of thing. But I think these players here highlighted are very decent options if you are looking to get a team in the Champion Europe division. I think these players will serve you well and will get you some decent scores as well. So definitely worth checking out these players. Try and get them at a cheap price. Champion Europe players are generally more expensive, like I say. So for this example of Perez, getting him for under 100 quid is a very, very good price for a forward in the Champion Europe division. And you never know, if they do have a good week, you could potentially win another card, which could either replace one of these players or sell that player on to save up for a rare goalkeeper, or potentially save up for another player to improve your squad that bit further. That's what it's all about, really. Patience, quality over quantity, building up your collection slowly and getting those quality teams in the SO5 tournaments. Okay, if you have any thoughts on today's video, then drop them in the comments below. Let me know if you've purchased any of these suggested players, or is there any that you've got your eye on? And don't forget to report back your success using this strategy. If you enjoyed this video, then please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to ping that notification bell to be the first to be informed about any new videos. You can also follow me on Twitter at Sorare Assist, and now Instagram and Facebook. Also check out my free website sorareassist.com that's got fantastic resources on there for Sorare. Links in the description below. There's also a link in the description below for Sorare if you want to get signed up today and access those all important free cards. Okay, that's it for today's video. I'll hopefully see you again soon.